Hello, everyone. This is my second vlog entry, and this is my good friend Diana Sanchez. And Diana, do I have your permission to have you on my video?
Mhm.
All right. All right. So I'm gonna ask you two series of questions, some that I created and some from the text.
Okay.
Sound good?
Mhm.
All right. All right. Well, your name. I already said that one. Where exactly are you from?
I was born in Reynosa, Mexico, but I was raised here in the United States.
What age did you come over?
I came when I was 4 years old, roughly 4 or 5 years old.
Were you already speaking by then?
English?
No, I mean
Like
Spanish or
just
English.
English, Spanish? Yeah, I was speaking Spanish.
Okay. Where did you grow up here in the U.S.?
Like south of Texas, the Valley. And then I came to Houston when I was in like first grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then from Houston, we just moved all over the city. And then my freshman year in high school, I moved to the northern side of north side Houston, and then finally to Conroe.
Okay. So you went school wise, you did it some in the valley and then
Yeah,
some in
so
Houston.
I did like kindergarten and some of first grade in the valley, and then first grade, second grade in Sharpstown area, um, third grade in the spring area, fourth grade in the spring area, um, and then fourth grade also in the spring, um, and then my fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth grade, I did it at Aldine ISD.
Mm.
Um, and then my senior, all the way through senior, freshman through senior in high school, I did in Willis ISD.
Okay. And were the ESL programs pretty good or bad throughout all the districts?
I exited the ESL program when I was in third grade.
Mm.
And I was monitored for 2 years after that. So I really, what I remember being in ESL, I remember getting like at first classes in English and Spanish, and then transitioning into classes that I knew I was with a lot of Spanish speakers, but our teachers spoke to us in English. Um, and then in third grade is when I went, like, I was automatically put in an all English classroom.
Because you were more
And
proficient by then?
and
Okay.
I mean, we'd get pullouts to, talk to people, and, if we needed help or anything. But in third grade, I was pretty much
You're
solid.
set? Okay. So was learning English hard for you growing up?
No, I don't think learning English itself. I think, like later on, the trouble came with when it came to like writing or reading,
And grammar and all that good
grammar
stuff.
and pronunciation. I remember I would have like a lot of trouble with pronunciation, and I think that's normal, but I wouldn't say like extreme trouble. I think it was just kind of like in the norm.
Getting used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have two.
Were they born in the U.S. or Mexico?
Yes, they were both born here. One of them was born in McAllen. The other one was born in, Galveston.
Okay.
But yeah, they grew up here in the Houston area.
But was English hard for them?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, my mom's always spoke to us in Spanish at home. But neither of my siblings had trouble, and I think it's because they were the youngest, and me and our friends, yeah, we just always spoke English around them. Even though my mom did speak a lot of Spanish, and they primarily spoke Spanish at home, I don't think it had as much as an effect. As a matter of fact, I think they feel more proficient in their English now and are able probably to articulate themselves in English a whole lot better than in Spanish.
Okay. So what do you do now for work?
So right now I'm student teaching at France Elementary, and this is my second semester.
I better wrap it up.
Yeah, and I'm also substituting. I recently started substituting in the district. Still only at the school where I'm at, and I think it's really cool to just see a little bit of everything, all the different classes, all the different students, and so it's really cool.
Diversity among them. Okay. Do you have any ELL students?
I do have a few ELL students. I have a total of 50 students I'm in 5th grade. So I think that I'm in a 5th grade math classroom, and all my students are fluent English speakers. I don't have any like bilingual students, but I do have students who have exited the ELL ESL program, and are now just being monitored. And so I have seen especially these last few weeks, they need to get tested for like TELPAS, or they need to write prompts, and so it's really just a handful of them that we need to monitor. But I'm able to see what the teachers kind of put and do to make sure that they're being taken care of. If that makes any sense.
Do you see any resemblances with their struggles that you had when you were kind of growing up?
Yes, all the time. I think especially in the pronunciation. I remember one of the craziest thing that happened to me in 5th grade is like I pronounced, and now I mean a lot of people are like, oh, that's normal, I did that too. But I remember being in class and I said Arkansas, and everybody laughed.
Arkansas.
Yes, yeah. Everybody laughed at me, and I supposed to be Arkansas. And so a lot of my students have that where they say things differently because it's not their first language. You know, at home they speak, you know, Spanish, or they're used to something different, and here they're like, you know, or at school they're, you know, trying to articulate themselves in a different language. I also have substituted and in the actual ELL classes, and you're able to see how the student teacher ratio is a lot different. And so I really relate to that because you know, being younger, I was put in a lot of small classrooms because they were they were ESL classrooms, and then transitioning to an all English classrooms, the ratio just expands automatically. But then they're also grouped by like
proficiency levels.
Yeah, proficiency levels.
Okay, so that's the end of my questions. We're gonna swap over to the questions from the text. They're kind of wordy, but also not. All right, what type of ELOs do you and your mentor have, and what are some challenges you guys face?
Again, I think all of our ELL students have transitioned out of the ELL bilingual program, so they're pretty set.
Just like minor stuff at this point.
Yeah, really, really minor things. A lot of our students, well, our campus is a Title I campus, which means that we put everybody on a tier 1 of for accommodations and needs. So all of the students, regardless of whether or not they need those accommodations, because it is a Title I school, they still have, all of those students have to have those accommodations or sort of supplemental needs. And so we always pull them for small groups, which are essential, especially for our ESL students or students who we've known are ESL. We always provide them like sentence stems and like vocabulary exercises or ways for them to like grasp that vocabulary that may be, you know, easy for some, but like a lot more difficult for others.
Okay. And then aside from what you remember reading in textbooks from classes you've taken here at U of H, by the way, she's a fellow Coug, guys. So, she's also in the COE program to be a teacher. Aside from all the stuff that you remember learning in your class and from the textbooks that you've read, do you think it's important for you and other teachers to go beyond the methods and approaches?
Yeah, I think
developed
definitely
by like theories and stuff?
Yeah, I think I mean, theory I think is a lot different when you're on the field. I think that it's
not like a perfect
we see a lot of theory in classes, and it seems perfect, and you're like, oh, this would definitely work. And then you get on the field, and you're like, wow, that's a lot different.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of just adjusting to what suits your students and really getting to know your students and what works for them, and then seeing, okay, how can I apply what I've learned to what best fits them and suits my students and kind of like your style.
You develop your own.
Yeah, you really do. You really just develop your own. And I mean, obviously knowing what works best and how students work best and all of that. And I mean, it sets you at a good advantage. But at the end of the day, I really do think you develop your own kind of maybe like theory or like philosophy, especially around students who require not just ELL needs or ESL needs, but like, you know, any other sorts of needs, like in accommodations.
Okay. Last question. What approaches or methods have you or your mentor teacher used in your guys' classroom when teaching ELLs?
So I think I just mentioned it, but just to reiterate, we just do a lot of vocabulary, a lot of sentence stems. Okay. Yeah, a lot of our lesson plans have to have.
Or that when that you substituted for that Spanish class. How did you? What exactly went down whenever you were doing
it? They have to do word study, and so I think that was very important because it helped the students know like the word so like the syntax, I believe, or the whatever of the word. So it's like, do they know the the prefix, the suffix of the word? Where does it stem from? What is the suffix of this word? Give it, what sort of meaning does it give? And so I think that was really, really, really important, really cool that they were getting that experience because they're learning how to break that word break that word apart and actually give it meaning on their own without them having to just look it up online or just look it up on a dictionary.
Okay. And then as far as that method goes, or that practice, why do you think it's important for them to have that? Like learning the prefixes and the suffixes and stuff?
Because they're able to just, rely on their own understanding. And, later on when they face similar words or even when they're reading, it helps with comprehension. It helps with, that reading level and them not,
proficiency.
Yeah, exactly. It helps them a lot in comprehension.
All right. Well, guys, that wraps up our interview. Hope you guys liked our video, and yeah.